Hello and a super warm welcome to part 1 of How to Bring More Joy and Passion in Your Work. This is a 3-part video series. My name is Dr. Rani Bora. I'm a mental wealth coach and holistic psychiatrist. In this 3-part free video series, we will look at some practical ways so you can bring more joy and passion into your work and your life, the understanding of how the mind works from the inside out, and why it is so easy to get fooled by our mind and our thoughts. Finally, we'll look upstream towards the true source of joy and passion. So make sure you watch all 3 videos. This is the first masterclass in the series. If I were to ask you to pick a number from 1 to 10 in terms of how much joy and passion you feel in your work right now, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest, what number would you give yourself? Slow down and consider my question. Just be honest. What is the level of joy and passion you experience in your work? Is it a high score such as 8 or 9, or a low one like a 2 or a 3? The good news is that no matter what score you give yourself, it is never too late to bring joy and passion into your life and work. I'm delighted you joined me for this first free masterclass. This is a great opportunity for you to get curious about why bringing joy and passion in your work helps your health and personal and professional growth. In this first video, we will look at why you need to explore the inside-out approach to bringing joy and passion back into your life and work, the role of stress response, and 3 ways to deal with stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. So let's get started. I'd like to start by acknowledging that all of us want to feel joy and other positive feelings. I haven't come across a single person who does not want to experience positive thoughts and emotions. We're bombarded with things we should be doing to improve our mental health. We are told we should think positive thoughts and be kind to ourselves. We are also told that we should be grateful for the things we have. So what's the problem? Before we go any further, let me tell you a bit about me and what makes me qualified to run a masterclass on bringing more joy and passion, highlighting the challenges and offering solutions. I call myself a mental wealth coach as I'm a coach and point people to their most important asset, inner resilience or mental wealth as I like to call it. I have trained in several coaching modalities, including life coaching, neuro-linguistic programming, emotional freedom techniques, narrative coaching, and the 3 principles or innate health understanding. I also happen to be a holistic psychiatrist with more than 2 decades of experience working in the mental health field. Having worked with hundreds of people with simple to the most complex psychological problems you can imagine, I know a thing or 2 about helping people bounce back from psychological setbacks so that they can live healthier, more prosperous, and more meaningful life. I published a book called How to Turn Stress on Its Head, which has helped many people change their relationship with life and work. Nothing excites me more than serving people through powerful, life-changing conversations and waking them up to their true potential. They get to see the results in all areas of their life, their work, business, health, their relationships, you name it. The most important reason why I believe I'm qualified to talk about this topic is that I have experienced stress and overwhelm many times in my life. I have tried countless ways to beat stress and overwhelm through practicing all kinds of coping and self-help strategies. I have done affirmations. I have tried to put a positive spin on my negative thoughts. I tried tapping, hypnosis, breathwork, mindfulness, and many other self-help strategies. They all seemed to help a little bit, but I was back feeling stressed and overwhelmed. I thought there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was not good enough and did not have enough willpower or self-discipline. Guess what? I even tried to change the people around me as I thought they were the ones giving me stress. I wanted to change them so that I could feel positive and happy. You can imagine how that went. Anyway, I just got exhausted from trying. Finally, several years ago, I had the most powerful aha moment that woke me up to a core limiting belief I had about people with psychological issues. This woke me up and shifted my being and how I practice psychiatry. Through my own lived experience, trying different things, practicing in the field of mental health, through coaching, I have a good understanding of why people get stuck in a cycle of chronic stress and suffering and what helps. Returning to my question as to why we struggle with stress and overwhelm when there is so much information about how to feel positive and joyful, here's why. we are looking in the wrong direction for the answers we seek. It feels like our circumstances, our life events, our past, or other people have the power to make us feel a certain way. We think our feelings are telling us something about our job, boss, and work challenges. Well, if that's the case, practicing mindfulness, changing our thoughts, breathing techniques, this won't be enough anyway. We can't feel any better doing this. We will have to change the circumstances and look outside of us to make us feel better. If we believe something outside of us has the power to make us feel stressed and overwhelmed, we will also think that unless those circumstances change, or people change or leave, we will continue to feel stressed. It will seem like we cannot bring more joy and passion into our work until that happens. Here's the thing. We have a genuine misunderstanding about where our feelings come from. We think life and work challenges keep putting us down. It does feel as if they make us feel stressed, anxious, and overwhelmed. So even though we try to think positive and feel joyful by engaging in fun or meaningful activities, it seems like something happening in the outside world makes us stressed and overwhelmed. This is called the outside-in paradigm. I used to be convinced that my feelings of stress and overwhelm were caused by my husband not washing the dishes after dinner or the kids not doing their homework. It also looked to me that my frustration at work came from my workload or tight deadlines or colleagues who would not communicate effectively. There seems to be a constant threat to our feelings of happiness and peace of mind. It seems there are a lot of reasons to feel stressed and anxious. If we think that our stress comes from work, we may think we need to give up or find another job. If we think our stress comes from our partner, we may think we need to end the relationship. Let me be honest here. At one point, I was very frustrated and disappointed with the mental health field and the current paradigm. I thought it was causing me stress. I seriously considered leaving psychiatry for good. Thankfully, I had an insight. I realized that the mental health field does not have the power to make me feel anything. I was causing myself stress with my stressful thinking and complaining about its limitations and how it did not align with my core values. I also realized that not only was I entertaining stressful thoughts, but these thoughts also occupied my headspace, and I did not have enough headspace to think creatively about my situation. And I could be creative and use my knowledge and understanding to make a difference in my own way if I wanted to. That was a big shift for me, knowing that I could choose to bring joy and passion in my work despite the limitations of the mental health paradigm. Just because we think we lack joy and passion in our work doesn't mean that we need to change our jobs and do something completely different. Of course, we may want to do something completely different, and that's fine. But while we're still doing whatever work we have signed up for, we can be open to a new possibility. What if our feelings are not telling us about other people, our past, or our circumstances? What if our feelings are telling us about our thought in the moment? What if we are feeling or thinking in any given moment, 100% of the time, no exceptions? This is the inside-out understanding. We are feeling or thinking in the moment 100% of the time. Not 20% of the time, not 60% or 80% of the time, but 100% of the time. That's how we are designed to have any experience. Can you imagine what would be possible for you in your life and in your work if you begin to see the truth of this? If this is the case, we don't have to ruminate and constantly analyze our stressful thoughts. We have freedom. We can choose to ignore our thoughts and not take them seriously. We can allow fresh thoughts and creative ideas to come our way. We can choose to bring joy and passion irrespective of the circumstances or the environment we work in. And yes, it might be that we are in a job that we are not satisfied with. We want to do something very different. That's okay. But how do we make the best use of the time in that job while we're still in it? There is an opportunity to change this. There is an opportunity right here and right now. This is an opportunity to be a game changer, to understand the inside-out nature of our experiences, to slow down, to not be so hard on ourselves just because we feel stressed and overwhelmed, to bring our creative side to life and work. I know in my own life how important it is to feel alive, feel joy and passion for the things I love doing. And I want the same for you. I would love you to have a different experience of work. You don't need to work on changing your thinking or your mindset. Once you understand the nature of our ever-changing experiences and our mental wealth, you will begin to feel more joy and passion from the inside, no matter what is happening on the outside. So why do you need to explore the inside-out approach to bring joy and passion back into your life and work? There are many reasons, but here are a few for you to consider. When you realize that you feel your thinking moment to moment 100% of the time, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and other people. You will begin to see the illusionary power of the mind and that you innocently fell for your thinking as if it was the absolute reality. You realize that you have been given the greatest tool of all, the power of thought, and that innocently you have been misusing this thought. Once you start using this gift wisely, you will be able to let go of your stressful thoughts. You become aware of the fact that you have access to an unlimited supply of fresh thoughts and ideas to solve these challenges. Let me put it this way. You're only one thought away from bringing more joy and passion back into your life and work. You may say, so are you telling me I'll never feel stressed again? No, I'm not saying that. Why wouldn't you want to feel stress again? Not all stress is bad. You will still experience some stress, but you will have a very different relationship with stress once you have a deeper understanding of the inside-out paradigm. We will realize that the more stressful thoughts we entertain, the worse our stress gets. This awareness itself can help us slow down and stop us from crossing the tipping point. What's the tipping point? As you can see in this diagram, stress can be an excellent motivator to begin with. As the level of stress rises and we go outside of our comfort zone, our performance goes up and up. However, if our level of stress continues to increase, instead of our performance continuing to rise, it starts to fall beyond the tipping point. This is why the stress in the green zone is called good stress or eustress, and the stress in the red zone is bad stress or distress. Here's something that is really useful to know. Stress is like an internal alarm system. It is designed to protect us from real danger. And we need to know when we are in real danger so that we can keep ourselves safe. Once the danger is over, we should go about our lives just like the zebras start eating grass and slows down once they escape their predator. But as humans, we keep thinking about what happened, we tell others, and we are caught up in our thinking. In other words, our stressful thinking hijacks the internal alarm system. Yes, it does go off when there's real danger. Thank goodness for that. However, we have also innocently trained it to go off when we perceive something as a threat. This is one of the reasons for chronic stress. So in other words, we are innocently misusing the stress response. Day-to-day situations and the perception of those situations trigger the stress response and keep them on for longer. So now let me share 3 common ways to deal with stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. The first one would be to fix those feelings. We might try to take a positive outlook in life. We may try to change the thinking and our feelings, and we might take medication or have therapy. Sometimes we might even go for and have unhealthy coping strategies. We may turn to food, drugs, alcohol, smoking, and so on. The second way of dealing with stress, anxiety, and overwhelm is to distract ourselves. Maybe watch lots of Netflix, go on a holiday, or not think about the problem. We may try to take our mind off things and engage in various activities. And yes, these are important. They have a role. But for transformation to happen, the third way is the most important one. The third way is to understand how we experience reality and how our experiences change when our state of mind changes by itself. We need to know that our experience of reality is not outside in, it is inside out. To experience joy and passion in your work, you will need to clear the misunderstanding that things outside of you can make you feel a certain way. It sure looks that way, but it's a trick of the mind. So that's the main thing I would like you to take away from this video. You may say, okay, I understand now that my perception of life can keep changing and it depends on my thoughts in the moment. And I don't have much control over the thoughts. But surely I want to be able to shift my state of mind. I have important meetings to attend. I want to be a better parent to my children. I don't want to just keep reacting. How can I change my state of mind? Do I fake it until I make it? I would say, no, please don't do that. Because again, there's only a quick fix. It's not the real understanding. So in summary, in this video, I talked about why we need to bring joy and passion to our life and work, 3 ways to deal with stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, and why understanding the root cause of stress and overwhelm is the best way. In the second video, I will share with you some powerful exercises to shift your state of mind. I hope you enjoyed this session. Let me know what you got from this. Do share in the comments or send me a message. I will see you in the second video.